them introduce themselves, and we're going to go right on in. Come on. Speaker Muhammad.
Tiger Rose. John Hart. Businessman, parent, community member.
Jay Bear, MC.
I don't even know, Warren Ritter, the Rich, the Mayor. I have plenty of titles.
Tell them why you mad, son.
Tell them why you glad. Host of the Tell Them What You Know morning show about Not Entertainment.
Patal Ray, metaphysician, community activist, a movement called Reality Movement.
Thank you everybody for coming again. I want to start out, I'm sorry, Queen. In the past 3 years in Harrisburg, we have lost over 30 males between the ages of 13 to 30 due to violence in the street war, the whole territorial thing, whatever the case may be. Remind you, in Harrisburg, there's 49,000 people here. I think 50,000. And out of 50,000, 70% of us are Black and Latino here in Harrisburg. Not only we're in one of the most crisis city right now, like, because we're unemployed and we're also bankrupt. Question, do you think that's what's causing the crime or not? Because y'all looking at me like it was a ghost.
She said you snuck that clothing.
Alright, hold on. Alright, let me move here. So I'm just saying that because of the unemployment, and yeah, is that what causing the crime? Hold on, please.
Is the unemployment causing the crime, right?
No, it was the unemployment, and also being bankrupt. And because we can't open up other programs, that's what I should also have said.
I'm gonna say it's early. It's one word: education. I mean, if we start off educating them when they're young and giving them something to shoot for, then those people that we educate at a young age will become the leaders of the city. They will become the owners, but we don't educate. Well, they didn't educate us to grow up saying, I can own that. We grew up saying, let's work for them.
Right.
So now that's our mentality. We want to work for somebody instead of working for ourselves. But I think it's education, it's the lack of education that's in our community is what's causing the crime, because that's what leads to the unemployment. You can get a job, but if you're not educated, you don't think you can, you won't try. So in one word, I'd say education.
Is there a link? According to research, in cities where there's high poverty, there's always high crime. Always, because people need to eat. They need to make money. They can't make money and they're not educated, and the parents are also struggling. They only have one alternative, which is the streets. People don't sell drugs all the time just to be cool. They usually sell drugs because they don't have the money and they don't have anywhere else to turn to get the money. I've seen people work a McDonald's job and quit because it wasn't paying enough for them to live the way that they felt they should be living. So wherever there's high poverty, there's always high crime.
Is there a link? As Bob said, yes. The one thing, going off of what Tellum had said earlier, we have to teach our children infrastructure, right? If you go to a bank, you see the teller, but there's so much behind that teller. If you see an athlete, there's so much behind that athlete. You see a movie star, there's so much behind that movie star, in which what's behind them are opportunities. Usually better opportunities than what you see on face value. Because you might get an artist that's in the game 3 years, but who they're reporting to has been in the industry for 30 years. Day in, day out. Like, I remember when they were talking about Love and Hip Hop, they were talking about Chrissy was worth $300,000. Jim Jones was worth $2 million. Yandy, the manager, was worth $15 million. And that came from a career. So, like, I remember when I got my first job at the bank, I had just came back from New York, and I stood on the corner, and I said, there's something in there building for me. And I started off a teller, and I went from there to work for Corporate Trust, and I learned, like, how money works. So I got a lesson from that, and it's taught me infrastructure, and that's what I try to share to people. Because as long as you know that there's opportunities there, that lessens the chances of unemployment. But if all you're looking for is what you think is there, you're not going to see what's under the rock. So keep digging.
To answer the question, as far as is unemployment,
I'm sorry, basically what I was saying is that
is there a link between unemployment and crime? Absolutely. That plays a factor, but I think you can, again, like a couple of other people said, trace that back to education. Ultimately, that's where it starts. Everything starts at education. And there's no reason, when's the last time you really heard about a CEO of a business? When's the last time you heard about Leland Nelson robbing somebody? When's the last time you heard about Joe Cobb sticking somebody up or shooting somebody? You don't hear about that. If you can go into business for yourself, you can educate yourself, not necessarily as far as getting your master's or going to business school. I mean, you can go to barber school and open up a barber shop, but that's a form of education, though. You can, what I mean, you have some type of schooling, some type of knowledge behind you. Ultimately, probably the safest and best route tends to be taking higher education and going to college, obviously. But education can directly link to unemployment. Myself at one point was a high school dropout. It's so bad. It's just difficult to get employment when you don't have education, and when you don't have employment, you don't have means to take care of yourself. When you don't have direct means to take care of yourself, that's obviously going to lead you to do what you have to do to survive. Your survival instincts kick in. So yeah, they all tie in. They all play a factor, I would say.
Well, I'm gonna say, it's definitely a link. But me being from the outside and coming from Philadelphia and being in the city for the last 2 years, I noticed it's not so much people can't find jobs because Harrisburg is the hub of Pennsylvania. Me being from Philadelphia, everything takes months to come through to Philadelphia, coming from Harrisburg. Everything that you want to do in Harrisburg takes a day, a week. It don't take no time at all to get a business license, to open a business, to do whatever here in Harrisburg. But the thing, the violence is happening because people are bored. There's nothing to do. You can be a person that has something to do all day and still find yourself bored. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing to do. There's no place to go party. And when you do go party, people are out there to find somebody to fight. The girls look at another girl, oh, I don't like the dress she got on, I want to fight her. Or they fight over some dude that don't care about neither one of them. Probably making up with some other chick. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, the unemployment has a lot of link to it and everything like that, but it's plain boredom. It's excuse. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on that.
Let me ask you a question. In some sense, you saying there's nothing to do and there's some boredom. What do you mean by that? Besides, the club. Man,
this city is beautiful. Let's put it like that. It's very romantic. It's a very romantic city, but as far as nothing to do, like the lady stated earlier, the pop. In Philadelphia, there's a pile darn near every other corner is a pop. So we built a the relationship with the police athletic league. So it's something to do as far as the kids going out there and play tennis, basketball, learn to swim, learn to do something, fish, whatever. But it's nothing here. There's no outlet for nobody here, like for adults, kids, nothing. There's nothing to really do, you know. And the transportation here sucks, so it's not like somebody can go wherever they want to go. So.
Men, you're not men until you know how to do some things to become a man. I heard nobody wants no rites of passage yet to become a man. So I don't see no men until you do that. And then when we talk about education, let's talk about education. Who's education? We always talk about getting education. Well, whose education is we getting? Because the one we have right now, that's why we're having this daggone meeting tonight. So we're not getting the proper education. So who should we be getting education from? We need to be self-educating ourselves. Education is broad. I'm not boxing you in. You have the whole world. You have the whole world to learn about. Another thing I haven't heard here this evening, we started in prayer, but I didn't hear nobody say anything about spirituality. I didn't hear nobody say nothing about it. I didn't say God or religion. I say spiritual. Yes, coming again to family as a group or whatever can be some limit of spirituality. But I haven't heard anybody say that they have a focus on their spiritual self. Getting themselves centered into whatever God or whatever you want to call it. I don't hear anybody talking about centering them. So that's something I hope we all work on as individuals and as a community. Let's talk about the guns. Let's talk about it. No, you don't know how to shoot. I'm a little pissed. I've been in 2 shootouts within a month. My grandson got shot. I'm at 4th and Woodbine. Thought I was an okay karate. 15 guys on the side, 15 on the other. Somebody said they knew who I was. That's why they waited. As soon as I moved, they opened fire on each other. And all that, about 30 people, nobody got shot. I know y'all know what you're doing. We talk about cross street, close proximity. Nobody did. But to say that, to say this, I don't see no brother saying, I want to learn how to make them, produce them, sell them, become Mr. Smith and Weston myself. I don't hear that. That is a gunsmith, that makes guns, that has a factory, we'll teach you, but we want to do the other thing. So we want to be gangster. Most gangsters that I know are dead or in jail. And a true gangster don't do what y'all do. They run cities, they own countries, they got islands, they own banks, they run the world. Because we look at the true gangsters on the news every single night. We want to talk a little about jail. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you better study and get yourself educated about the prison industrial complex, because all you're doing really right now is saying, Master, take me to jail, put me in slavery for free. And he's going to make more money off of you this time than when he did that last time, because you can't get out this time. Ain't no freebie, Master, because you ain't going nowhere. And you're there till you die. So y'all don't understand what's really in front of you. Right. And you don't have to go in those particular directions. A lot of this is by choice. God gave us choices. Another thing I heard up here is plain old common sense. It knocks every day, every second, and we don't let it in. Because the little voice talks to each and every one of you and tells you, don't do something. I don't want to hear that mess. I'm with my boys and I'm with my girls. See, this is how I talk to my boys. And they get busted upside the head, kicked in the head, anything else we get our hands on, we do it. Because we're disciplinarians. I'm not going to sit there and we do our children have done stuff in this community that we were not proud for. And guess what? We still hold our head up high. Because that was not our choice. That was their choice. We gave them a foundation and a solid background. Some of y'all in this room know that. That was their choice. They waited until they got grown and made stupid choices. We're not going to be responsible. Y'all have to live that. See, the man, and I'm going to say it like this, the white man's going to hold you accountable to the day you die. The records don't erase when you do it. Now that's a lie. It's gonna come back and haunt you when you're trying to do something or get that college degree. Most people that got a college degree right now can't even get the job that they went to school for. So why are we pushing you brothers in to get a job first of all, and then go get a degree that's gonna leave you in debt with $100,000, $200,000 a year? Now you're back in slavery, paying that mess off. I'm talking about reskilling yourself. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. All of us have a gift that God gave us. We're not exercising on that. Most of y'all know how to sing, dance, you're gifted with your hands. I'm not going to slap all computer games, but some of y'all know how to do that. We got the next Bill Gates sitting right in front of us. What do you need? He didn't finish college. You need to research your own heroes. Most of the people that have done things in this community and in this world never went to college. And if they did, they dropped out. They realized there was nothing there for them. So I'm not sitting here saying, don't get educated. What I'm saying is, self-educate yourself and find out what you're being educated with. It's too much brainwashing.
And another thing is too, one thing I teach to my students of all. You ever notice that the schools look like a prison?
They are. School is jail. It's an institution.
It's an institution. And that's the truth.
One more thing I want to clear up that the brother said down here about poverty. I sit on a poverty camp. What is poverty? Everybody says it's money. Is that what y'all think? Raise your hand. Poverty money? You know what poverty is? It's lack of resources.
Right.
It's your lack of resources. If you know how to go and get credit, you have one. Because you have people in place to help you make that happen. We as Black and Latinos in our community don't have the resources. That's why we keep spinning around in poverty. So when we decide to step out of poverty, then some of us are labeled as Uncle Tom or house niggas or whatever. We have no. See, I bury no N-words where you put it in perspective. Because if you're ignorant, you are a nigga. That's just what it means. So we should put it in being respected. So we got niggas all across the spectrum. Jews, look who put the thing up on the bulletin board. That was the nigga. See, when you know your history and know what you're talking about, then you can say those words. A lot of y'all don't know who you are, black man. You don't know who you are. So I'm sitting up here to tell you, you got a lot of work to do. I'm glad we're here, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to talk to all of y'all, and I'm glad that y'all are on the right path. But you got a lot more work to do. Y'all have no clue. As a parent, we're going to continue telling you to the day we die. We're parents for life. I don't put you out at 18 and cut it off. Which some parents do. Parents are parents for life. You're going to be a parent for life, and it goes on and on and on. And you need to respect parents. We're not your friends. I'm not your girlfriend and your boyfriend. I'm your parent. I'm your mother. So I'm not going to sit down with you and talk to you like you're my boy and you my girl. My daughter just got knocked out yesterday acting a fool. I'm not her girlfriend. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, she was on the floor. Head back there for a chasing. Brothers like white people step up. That's what we do. Okay, just keep it right. We don't allow that. So I'm just saying, I'm not coming at parents. I'm tired of people beating up on us as parents, because we work too daggone hard in this community. Some of us is working 2 and 3 jobs, and I don't know how they do it. When you work for yourself, like my husband and I have been doing for 30-some years, sometimes you got to work 2 and 3 jobs because you work for yourself. But you know what? I can get up when I want to. I can sleep late when I want to. I can set scheduled time when I go to work. I've been in meetings all day fighting for y'all because I'm tired of seeing y'all go down. I'm tired. Fighting for y'all. Trying to bring something in this community where you can be reskilled, be recertified, and start your business immediately as soon as you're done with me in 72 hours. I ain't heard nobody talk like that. So I'm not going to tell you to go get an education there. Educate yourself. There's plenty to do in Harrisburg. You're not looking. You're not looking. When we talk, we have lots of self-defense schools in here. There's no need to carry a weapon. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you run up on this end, we're going to make you eat the gun. Trust me. My husband is a senior. He's always saying, y'all young boys run up on him. Don't go there.
That's right.
If you got a gun, he's going to shove it down your throat. He's a master. He don't play.
That's right.
So we need to know how to respect each other. He don't need a weapon to walk around. When you are comfortable with yourself, that energy don't come with you. It repels away from you.
Right.
When you walk in the presence of a room, people know the man respects you. Whether you tell them, snitching, they know that's a man. Ain't no need to say that snitching, you're not a bitch because you snitch. There's too much going on here. Tell, I see you doing something, I'm approaching them telling you. So we got a lot of stuff to do, you got a lot of work to do. I'm not trying to come at you in a negative way or cutting your throat anyway, what I heard this evening. But you need to hear another side. I don't like the sugarcoat stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, we get too much sugarcoating up in here. It's okay. It's not okay. They're trying to build more prisons to put y'all young brothers right in.
That's it.
They will charge you as an adult at age of 15 or under, depending on the crime. Don't think it's not set up for you. I just told you jail is slavery. That's a fact.
Jail is hell.
And it is hell. But we're right here on hell anyway. Read all scripture. I didn't never say get into a religion. I said read it. Understand about your spirituality. Understand who you are and where you come from. Respect women.
Right.
Because we didn't really talk about the real crimes. Who does the perpetrator look like? Y'all? But see, the real crime that we need to be talking about is we don't talk about the Johns that come in here and approach our women that don't look like y'all. Approach our boys too, Queen. Oh, we do that too. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about who's really bringing the real guns and drugs in here that y'all get so easy. Who buying guns for $5? Fiend car out here y'all be getting and riding around. And who do that mess? Who does that? And I know the white boys bring it to you. I've seen it. Mine do it myself. And you also go to fall into that. But who goes to jail? Y'all do. One of my sons that I didn't birth is doing 99 years behind a drug crime little baby. White boys are still free. He's doing 99 years at age 21. He's been down 10. And we went to the governor to reduce some of his jail time. He goes in front of a judge downtown that don't like people with different names because he ain't Joe Smith. So you're destined to go to a long time prison term if you go in front of Judge Clark. Because he don't like you. So you need to understand who's also who's in your community, who's for you, and who's really against you. Because you got more up in here that's for you than is against you. But nobody is talking to you that way. So I'm sorry to go in that direction because she told me that get it in, so I'm going to get it in. But you need to get it in from a whole nother perspective. It's great what we're doing. That's not what I'm saying, but brothers, it's tiring. We go to jail with you when you go to jail. And wondering if you're going to come out alive and not behind homosexuality. But if you tattooed yourself, will you get HIV? Or will you come out dead? It's the things that they feed you. Will you be able to reproduce? Because they're killing you when they feed you stuff you can't have kids. We don't think about those things. The clothes that they put on you and you wonder why you broke out in a rash. You better think about when you go. Somebody said they want to go to jail. No, they don't. Because when they get in there, that's when they become snitch. Because then they tell on everybody. There's nobody to protect.
But everybody's giving back. Everybody on this planet, like that young lady at the end, that really gave us a lot of brain food today, she's giving back. And it doesn't take a money value to actually give you. Just coming in this room with the big cups, people are giving back. So you just got to find what you're looking for and understand where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? Everybody here, just like, for me, you got to be who you are. Don't be scared to be who you are. Like I just watched these 3 men, 2 guys with their hair backwards and heads forward. Be who you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. Don't worry about what the next person's doing. what the next person's wearing, the next style is, or what you see on TV. Be happy who you are, and everything will be positive. I'm one of the most positive people in the city that done a lot and given back. Everybody on this panel except for the young lady at the end, I done work with them somehow, some way. It's some positive people here, and there's a lot of things to do. Pick up a book, get on a computer, do sports. Quiet as kept. I'm the CFA commissioner. I'm one of the reasons they put 30 youth football teams together in Central PA. We actually have the biggest youth football organization in the state of Pennsylvania right now. I'm also in the process of the Big 33 committee bringing Pittsburgh here and Philly here on November the 18th to play a youth football game at Hershey Stadium. So there's a lot of things just here. I also just did a movie. I released a lot of rap albums. I rapped with Michelle back and whatever, Dave Jax, Jay Barrett, me and your dad. We did things in past. So there's a lot of things here that people don't understand that's here. So there's ways people giving back. You just got to find how you feel is giving back. It might not be positive in your eyes, but use that negative as your positive to enhance and grow where you're trying to go. And set your goals. A lot of people, I'm jumping, I'm sorry. A lot of people don't set their goals because they think when they see a music video, that's success. All right? I'm one of the most successful people here ever in music, and I didn't sell as many units as your dad, but I did everything I wanted to do.
Like I said, I have a background for it.
Exactly.
Right.
So set your goals and be happy who you are. You know what I mean? Keep coming here and talk to people. Don't ever be scared to be who you are in your skin.
I think we also just got to get to the reality of the situation at hand. You know what I mean? We got to start dealing with today's youth, not our youth or our parents' youth. They got different issues now that we didn't have to deal with. There wasn't no internet coming up. Video games wasn't prevalent. Like, the situation was different. Yeah, there's violence in every generation, but you got to adjust. You can't coach every team the same. You can't parent every child the same. You can't teach every class that comes through you if you're a teacher the same. You got to adjust. And we're not adjusting. A lot of times we want to take old principles, and you can still take old principles, you gotta update them a little bit. Just like in computers, different things like that, you got upgrades to your phone, you gotta upgrade that a little bit and get on their level. Understand, and that's one of the things that's not going on. I can vouch for several people up here, some of them really well. This gentleman, or I know what he's like as a father, as a man. I've seen him coaching. I can vouch for Hart as well. I've seen him hands-on. A lot of people don't have that. That gentleman back there in the back of the room, I can vouch for him. Because if it wasn't for him and his family, I probably would be dead or in jail or on drugs, like a lot of my other family. Because that's the road, because I didn't have anybody really telling me that though. And we take that for granted. A lot of times, we assume there's somebody saying that to them when it's not always the case. There's not always somebody there telling them what to do. We keep telling them what not to do, but how about telling them what to do, and you know what I mean, as the alternative? What's the alternative to that? And tell them why you shouldn't be doing this. Tell them why this is probably not a good look to do this. And understand the reality is, there's not, you're there for your kids, but somebody in that school doesn't have a parent that's hands-on. Obviously they have a mother and a father because they wouldn't be here without one, but they might not have a mother and a father. They might not have an uncle. They might not be good at sports. They might not play on the team. They might not be able to dance. They might not be into Queen Michelle. So they might really have nobody, but the streets are Boosie, are Jeezy, or let's be real with it now, you know what I mean? I remember hearing Pac say that before. He was like, you know, a lot of times people come, when you come up in the community, you don't necessarily have fathers or big brothers that's involved consistently. So a lot of times he was like, the music becomes your father. Now if that's the case, let's deal with it on the real, because let's be honest, hip hop is a big influence to this day in the community. So now what we got out here? I see Zulu Queen Michelle countered it, but it's a lot of negativity. Now who's raising you though? Who's raising? You know what I mean? Is it the dude that's telling you the Superman at home? Now I'm listening to that, I'm getting that pumped in me though, but how am I countering that? Who's sitting down with me and breaking this down for me and telling me why this is not a good thing? I put out posts all the time on Facebook. I told them, I said, adults should play Tupac's Wonder Why They Call You Bitch for the youth and talk about what made him write that song. Whether right or wrong, the negative, have open dialogue. We don't have open dialogue though. We just say, don't do this. Turn that off. Don't look at that. But where's the open dialogue to let me tell you why this might not be a good look for you? You break it down, let me hear what you're thinking. Okay, now let me tell you, because I'm a little bit older, let me break this down why you might not want to, this might not be the path that you want to follow. Yeah, Boosie, that might not be the path that you want to follow, because guess what? He's probably not coming home, ever. So you might not want to go that route. That might not, trying to emulate him, that savage life, you know, shirt off, walking in the middle of the street like you own the whole road, and that mentality. Because that in of itself is a small thing, but it's that mentality. You have that mentality that I'm ruthless, I'm a savage, I'm hood out here. That's the mentality. Yeah, jaywalking or having your pants down, in and of itself is actually a small thing. That's not really a huge, but it's the mindset that you have that's in place now. So we got to start getting to the whatever happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a village. Getting back to that, because, okay, we worried about, I know we're so busy nowadays. Everybody's working, but like he said, as far as doing our part, everybody got to do their part. I don't have any children. I got nieces and nephews, though. I probably could be more active with them. I have kids that I coach. I need to be more active with them. But it's consistency, though, because we can say all this here right now, just like you can tell somebody to pull their pants up. They gonna pull them up, right? Pull your pants up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. As soon as they turn the block, them pants is coming right back down. And take that little small example and apply that to everything in their life. And that's what's going on, though. You don't need to be doing this. Yeah. I hear you for a couple minutes, but guess what? Now the rest of my boys, this is what they don't smoke weed. Yeah, you're right, I shouldn't smoke weed no more. A week later, that's, you know what I mean? It's got to be consistent, and as much as consistency is the key. So I really want to start talking about what are some of the solutions, though. Like, okay, I know Zulu Queen Michelle has her program. I know what Rick's doing, but there's still so many obviously slipping through the cracks. There's obviously a bunch of them that's slipping through the cracks because they're dying and dropping out of school, etc.
You know, I want to say something on that. You're absolutely right, but a person like me who runs a program, I got to chase after parents. And reminding you, from Monday to Friday, I deal with over 200 kids. This is only in school. Then I got them, they're 59 deep. So I don't mind doing it. I don't mind chasing. But I think I'm a little bit burnt out for walking in your house, snatching your kid out of the bed. And snatching you out of the bed. Because parents, and I'm not going to say all, but you got some lazy ass parents out here. Brother, you got some, you really do. There's so, like Queen said, there's so many programs in the city of Harrisburg. And I can even start by the district. You only don't have breakdances, so you don't want to do breakdancing, you can do theater. If you don't want to do theater, you can do the music. If you don't want to do the music, there's so many other opportunities you can do. But then, the kid who runs the home, he said, I don't feel like going back, Mom. Mom, go, baby, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Exactly. So then the next thing, well, all right, Mom.
That we got to remember that everybody handles things differently. We're all different. That's one thing this man always just comes about. We're all different. We're all unique. So I can't say to this man, oh, just know your self-worth, be confident in yourself. Because that's how I am, or that's what he would do. Everybody's different. That one thing, you may have 1,000 people tell you you're great, and then one person tell you that you're not great, and he can have the same thing, but y'all can react to it totally different. Y'all can react, so we can't give the same answer like, oh man, why don't you just tough it up? I can't just tell all 5 kids that I work with, oh, just tough it up, because they're all different. I got nieces and nephews, and I got to handle each other differently. Some of them might need a little hug. Some of them might need, you know what I mean, punch in the chest. Some of them might need a little pat on the butt. You know what I mean? It's all differently though, but you got to tell them, you got to think first. We can't just give generic responses and answers to handle situations. That was one of the realest things I heard the other day, being honest about that, because the truth be told, we're all, as human beings, we're all sensitive in that regard to how people feel about us and things that people say about us, whether our parents or loved ones, we feel they truly care. If they're showing up to events or they're proud of things we do, that affects us. Let's be real about it. We're not robots in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep that in mind, though, that every one of us are different and we react to things differently. People say, even with deaths and families, we could be in the same family experiencing, you know what I mean, the loss of a loved one, but how we react to it, my reaction to it can be totally different, though, than your reaction to it. I could go in the shell, you could go out partying, and they say, what's wrong with that? How we react to it is different. We're all unique. So I mean, keep that in mind when we handle the situation with our youth and with each other.
Yeah, I can piggyback off of that too, because I have 4 kids, and each one I gotta treat differently, because they don't react the same. Like I had my youngest girl, she's real sassy, real mean. I have to show her a whole lot of love. As soon as I show her love, she calms down. If I react the opposite way, she gets mad. Then I have a young boy, he has a temper. He's not mean, but you can push him. And him, I gotta treat him kind of the same way. I have to treat him with love, caring, then he calms down. Then I have my oldest daughter. In order to get her anywhere, I have to be intellectual with her. You know, and then she becomes civil, all that. My oldest son, he can be quiet, and he can be laid back. I have to hype him up. And once I hype him up, he's willing to do anything. So I get what you're saying. Every child is different, and you got to treat them according to their personality. What best brings out the best yes in them.
And then real quick, the story of Job. Is it Job who God was like
He kept running.
he's going. What was the story where the devil was like, let me at him? Was that Job? Yeah, where he was a faithful servant. Faithful servant. So God and the devil, when the devil was like, let me at him. And God was like, yeah, go ahead. He's going to stay faithful. And he went through everything and stayed faithful. So stay faithful to yourself.